Welcome, welcome everybody. Welcome to our first Windows to the World event this year. Glad to have you here. This is a student presentation on the study abroad program to Bulgaria. So it's an opportune time because you have plenty of time now. This program is planning to go for next June. And so we have flyers after the event. You're welcome to talk to any of the folks that present tonight. We have flyers down here for the program for next summer. And we also have information you can apply. At this point, we have applications for the study abroad grants that's funded by your tuition, your fee money. $3 every semester goes towards study abroad. And if you fill out, we have a study abroad grant form. Even if you don't know where you want to go yet, you don't have to, but you could go ahead and fill out a form and file that with us to guarantee that you could have funding to help you it would be one source of funding and hopefully, and then you could look for more. So I encourage you to take these flyers after the program, and after the event, to get Windows to the World credit. This is one of the Windows to the World events. You'll want to come up to the back and swipe your ID where Kathy's got her hand raised. There'll be two of us there to do that. And finally, and I know Dr. Smedra will put a plug in, we have a study abroad fair next Wednesday, the 21st, in the Marshall Student Center from 10 to 2, where we'll have more information on a variety of programs available. So that's a great time to come and ask and find out more information on things that are of interest to you. So thanks for coming, and I'll let Dr. Smedra lead us off.
Good. Thanks, Dr. Spear. I use the microphone. Is this working? Okay, well, thank you for coming. And the purpose of the program is to have the students that came along to Bulgaria this past June talk to you about their experiences, and I just have a small little presentation to show you where Bulgaria is and to promote study abroad. I've been doing this since I've been at GSW, that is promoting study abroad, and I've been on a bunch of programs, and the feedback that we get from students is that it was a great experience. It doesn't matter where we go, whether it's Bulgaria or Nicaragua or Romania or France, places that we've been with GSW students. It's a great thing to do. And one of the great benefits of our GSW program is that the cost of the program is $2,950. If you're interested in study abroad, I urge you to look at other schools' study abroad programs and what they cost. We are one of the very few programs that goes to Bulgaria in the United States. I think there are two other universities in the US that have study abroad programs to Bulgaria. Our program is the most cost-effective, I don't want to say cheapest, but the most cost-effective program that you can find anywhere in the US. And we can do that because of a number of reasons. We have Bulgaria faculty that come along with us, and they know how to maneuver in that country. And also Bulgaria, because it has not adopted the euro. As you know, Western Europe has its currency as the euro, but Bulgaria, even though it is part of the European Union, has not adopted the euro. So things are much cheaper in Bulgaria than they are in other parts of Europe. So this is the least cost way to go to Europe, and Bulgaria is, I think, one of the most, we've traveled a good deal through Western Europe, and I think Bulgaria is one of the prettiest places, one of the most unvisited places, except for German tourists going to the Black Sea. But the rest of the country is pretty pristine. And for sure, Americans don't know where Bulgaria is or what the history of the country is. So that's kind of why I put together this PowerPoint. If to show you where it is and to talk about study abroad a bit. Our Bulgaria program started in 2009, and we've been 4 times since then. In 2009, in 2012, 2014, and this year, 2016. And we'd like to do it every year. First time we went, we had 17 students that went along. This time, we had 8 students and a faculty member and Dr. Yordanov and myself, and it was a nice sized group. And I'm hoping that this year we have at least that many students to go back to Bulgaria. We have added a trip to the Black Sea because we had that experience this year, and it was a gorgeous place. I'd never been before, and so we've decided to include that as well as a trip to Greece. One of our weekends is devoted to a trip to Greece. So let me talk about this for just a bit, and then we'll have each one of our participants talk about their own experience. So here's Southeastern Europe. Bulgaria is down here. It's bordered to the north by Romania, to the south by Greece, to the west by Serbia and Macedonia, and to the east by the Black Sea and Turkey. It is crossroads of civilizations. The Thracian civilization was there before the Roman civilization was there. It's quite a place if you've never been. And I'm sure, except for 8 people in this room, you've never been to Bulgaria. It's a great opportunity. Here's the country of Bulgaria, about 7.5 million people. It has the land area of the state of Tennessee. So it's a very, very small country. You can drive from one end, from Pernik, all the way to Burgas in your own automobile in about 6 hours, if you don't stop. And so it's a very, very small country. And we will travel from Blagoevgrad, which is where the American University in Bulgaria is located, which is where our program is located. We use their dormitory and their student center facilities. It's a very beautiful town. This is the pedestrian zone of Blagoevgrad, and they had a bit of an art demonstration. While we were there, all these umbrellas were hanging through the pedestrian zone, and it is a very beautiful place. If you look in the distance, you can see snow-covered mountains, and those stay pretty much snow-covered throughout the year. There's a river that runs right next to the campus that is all snowmelt, and the place is clean, it's quiet, and it's safe, which is, I think, pretty important. So the places that we go, we fly into Sofia, the capital, and then we take a bus or our own bus from Sofia to Blagoevgrad. This is about 100 kilometers, about 60 miles, 62 miles. So it's not all that far. It takes about 2 hours because it takes an hour to get out of Sofia. Places that we visit, we go to Plovdiv, which is Bulgaria's second city. We go down to Greece. I have a map of Greece. I'll show you where we go down there. We have gone to Velika Trnovo, but we've decided that this year we're going to go all the way to Burgas and take in the Black Sea because it's such a beautiful place. Here's Greece, and you can see Blagoevgrad up there by Bulgaria. This is a French language map. Blagoevgrad to Kavala, where we get on a boat ferry, a car ferry, and go to the island of Thasos and spend a weekend there. This is for less than $3,000, and we're going to give you, GSW is going to give you $500 to come along with us. So that cuts the price to hardly anything at all. It's like car fare. This is a picture of a town that we visit called Melnik, where they make wine. So why study abroad? And I don't really want to extend this too much because we've got other people who are anxious to talk. Why study abroad? Because at the very basic, fundamental reason is to know who you are. Because right now you don't know who you are. One of the steps in knowing who you are is moving away from home. And all of you have done that, to come to university, unless you live in Americas and live at home. But that's step one of knowing who you are. But coming into another country, into another culture, you're away from your family, you're away from your friends, you have to rely on your own resources, your own devices to figure out just who you are in this world. And study abroad is an excellent way to do that. Experience a different culture, begin being a global citizen. I know that terminology is overworked. What is a global citizen? It's a person who appreciates the other cultures that they're sharing this planet with. And most Americans don't have a clue. If you go on study abroad, you begin to understand that the world is a very diverse place with interesting cultures and interesting languages. And if you confine yourself to the United States, you do yourself a disservice. You fail to understand a side of you that will never be discovered. So you should think about coming to, not necessarily to Bulgaria. There's other programs that we will be presenting at the Study Abroad Fair a week from today over in the Marshall Student Center from 10 to 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And we'll have brochures and literature on lots of different programs all over the world. This is the American University in Bulgaria. It's essentially a brand new campus. There's an old campus, but we stay at the new campus. Some other reasons. You land somewhere without a map, and you don't have a clue about what's going on. I mean, if you've never been to Bulgaria, and if you've never been out of the United States, if you have never been on an airplane, and I'm sure there are people in this audience who have never been on an airplane, it's quite an experience, because it's a place that, you know, a new culture is a place that you don't have an inkling about. And then spending a month in this new culture, you will have a better idea of what the world is made out of and who these people are. Peter Drucker was a management guru. And this quote, in the 21st century, there will be only two kinds of people: those who think globally and those who are looking for work. And that's absolutely true. You know, we talk with employers, and one of the things that they are looking for, you know, I tell my students that when you graduate, you'll be one among 1.8 million other individuals who are graduating with a bachelor's degree. 1.8 million, that's your competition for gainful employment. How are you going to differentiate yourself from everybody else? The best way is to go on a study abroad, because immediately the HR person, whoever is reading your resume, appreciates that here's an individual who understands that there's a big, wider world out there. So for no other reason, do this in order to improve your job prospects. Mr. Drucker was absolutely correct. These are the courses that we're offering in 2017. We have introductory chemistry. I'll be teaching principles of micro, which is a required course if you're a business major. And it's a lot better to take principles of micro in Bulgaria than it is here, listening to me for 15 weeks. You can do this in 3.5 weeks, which, you know, lessens the amount of pain that you're exposed to. Dr. Yordanov, environmental science, and Dr. Kostov, stellar astronomy. What a great place to study astronomy in the mountains of Bulgaria. This is where we have been and where we're going in 2017. Blagoevgrad is where we're based. We'll go to all of these places again, and some of them take your breath away, they do mine. So these are the people who you should contact if you're interested in this. Dr. Spear, who's the director, Office of International Programs, myself, Dr. Yordanov, Dr. Yordanova, Dr. Kostov. And, you know, with that, we'll actually start the program. And the first individual up is Ms. Watkins.
Love my pictures, don't you, Shola? Okay, hello everyone. My name is Ebony Watkins. I'm a senior here at GSW. I'm studying accounting, and this is not my first time out of the country. I'm a military child, so I've been to multiple different places, but I've never been to a Eastern European country. I've been to Westerns, but not Eastern European. Well, the reason why I have these pictures up here, because it was a very long plane ride. You have about an 8-hour trip from Atlanta to Paris, and then from Paris, we fly about maybe 3 hours at most, all the way to Bulgaria. Okay, this is, I can never say the word, Blagoevgrad, and this is the town that we were in where we were studying at the university. So it's a nice, pretty town. It has a beautiful pedestrian crosswalk area where there's a lot of restaurants and bars and gelato. And I loved all the gelato. This is the university. It was such a beautiful campus. They have little trees that are dedicated to different people, and my video is not playing correctly. It's not supposed to be sideways. It's supposed to show what our floor was looking like when we were on campus. But over in the corner, they actually have maids. They wash, dry, and fold your clothes at the dormitory. That was the best thing ever. I can't believe she actually washed, dried, and folded it. It was beautiful, it was beautiful. Okay, this is when we did our tour of Velika Turnova, and it was a little nice, small Renaissance town, and it had a lot of ruins, and we did a tour of the city, and it was just very, very beautiful. We also went to the Rila Monastery, and I wish I had a picture of these monks. They actually came up to me and actually wanted to take a picture. I don't know if it was because I was, the darker skin complexion, but I guess they were just surprised, just to see a Black African American, in Bulgaria. It was quite funny. They was like, hey, you, come here, let's take a picture. But it was a great experience. We actually hiked up a mountain. It was kind of wet and stuff like that, and I almost tripped and fell 16 times. But it was actually beautiful, and we went it was a king that had, what was the king name again? Alexander? The king.
The king.
The fountain that we drink out of the fountain?
Yeah, well, y'all drunk out the fountain. I ain't drink out that fountain. I did not drink out that fountain. But y'all did. Oh, well, and we also went through a cave, and it was supposed to he was a saint, not a king. Okay, so we went through a cave, and it was supposed to repent you for all your sins if you was able to fit through and everything like that. And, Mr. Shu, he wasn't able to get through it because it's kind of big. But it was a great experience, though. This is when we went to Greece. Woo, just beautiful. Hot as I don't know what, got darker by 20 shades. But it was beautiful. We went to Kavala and an island called Thassos. These are some of the beaches, and this video don't want to act right again. We went to Giola, Greece, and we also went to another beach that was on the edge of Thassos. It was very, very beautiful. You got pictures of I'm leave it alone. Oh, wait. Our bracelets. We met some Nigerians on the beach, okay? And mine won't come off. I have to cut it off. I'm not gonna tell y'all the full story about what these Nigerians was talking to us about, but they was like, hey, you know what I mean? Y'all want, a bracelet? So we thinking okay, we can get a bracelet for free, but they was looking at us at the end you gonna pay me for doing this bracelet for you? But we had a full conversation about a lot of inappropriate stuff. But it was fun though. No, okay. Stop making me laugh. Can you play this video, Dr. Smedra? Yes, it's the one right there, yes. Don't get
Alors désormais, et n'oubliez que si votre chat spécial, nous sommes libre de Monsieur
We went to a Bulgarian bar for Shola's birthday. And we actually met a group from Virginia that was studying abroad too there. So that's the group in this picture and the picture up there and this picture. This picture was some Bulgarian soccer players, and we was at a bar, hanging out with them and stuff like that. And then over there's a picture of me and Shola, eating gelato on the last night there because we had to get gelato before we got back on the plane in the morning. We went wine tasting in Melnick. I've never ever been wine tasting before, so it was actually a very, very great experience. But we only taste wine because Bulgarians, they only drink red wine. What's the saying? What's the saying, Dr. Oh, white wine, why you're not red wine, okay. So my favorite was actually the dry, surprisingly, but all of it tastes like rubbing alcohol. So it was absolutely disgusting in a sense, but it was interesting to actually, be able to taste it and stuff like that. We went to an opera in an actual Roman amphitheater. Like, I absolutely loved it. I mean, we couldn't understand nothing that was being said because everything was in Italian. But it was a great opera. It was actually the grand opening. And this is the amphitheater. They actually just recently dug out, most of it and everything like that. Can you play this video? Well, first, before you play, can you? No, you can't turn it, dang it. They did like fireworks at the end, and it was just absolutely beautiful, and everybody was there. I had a great time. Ignore this picture, you know what I mean? You see some students that, they don't find things, like culture interesting. Oh, I wish I had a picture of him and her. The last place we went on the trip, we actually had fun with some gypsy orphan kids. In this picture, all the way up at the top of them touching my hair, they have never seen weed before. So I had to explain to them that it was horse and let them know that it wasn't my real hair, and it was like really, really short because they never seen stuff like that. They actually were dancing, it won't play, I couldn't find the video, but they was actually dancing a regional cultural dance for that region of Bulgaria, and Shola, who else went up there? I think you were the only one that went. Actually went and decided to try to dance with them. I wasn't trying to do that. These two pictures right here, like I said, they don't really see black people. So they decided to take a picture of me, so I'm probably in somebody's living room. Because I felt so awkward. They really wanted to take a picture of me, and it was kind of weird because some cities, they really, don't see them, but others, they have like Nigerians and like UK, African Americans, because, there was like in Sofia, there was no Plovdiv. In Plovdiv, there was a nursing university. So they seen them there, and then we was in Costa Coffee, and Brendan had pointed out another black person that was in there. But it was absolutely funny. This is when we went to a light show in the cave. I actually had a great time. With the kids. It was a great experience. At first, when we were hanging out with them, they were very shy and they didn't want to like really hang out with us and open up with us. But we was only with them for a few hours, and at the end, it was actually very heartbreaking because it felt like I was parting with a child and like my little brother or sister. And it was just so sweet when they all waved to us back on the bus, and I wish I could see them again. They were lovely children. But that's the end of my slideshow. Thank you. Thank you. If y'all have any questions, hopefully you don't, just ask me at the end or come and see me after.
Yeah, we'll do questions after everybody is presented. Next up, we have Mr. Shu Haohang.
Yeah, my name is Hao Hongxu. I'm from Beijing, and my first major is agricultural science, and my second major is business management. And this is the second time I went to Bulgaria, and the first time is in 2014. And today I want to tell something like a different compared to the first time I went to Bulgaria. My parents will tell you other thing about Bulgaria, but because I have one small story I want to tell in Sofia. Because I need to get a visa, I try to get a visa in Bulgaria, so I arrived like a 3 day earlier. So I stay in the Sofia. I have nothing to do, so I went to the movie theater. And everybody know in America, if you watch a 3D movie, they will give you a 3D glasses. It seems similar thing is like in China. I pay the ticket, I go to there, and give them tickets, they give me the glasses. After the show, I just put in some basket or just throw it away. So in Bulgaria, they asked me, do you have 3D glasses? I said, no, you're supposed to give to me one. They said, if you don't have one, you need to buy one here. And when I'm waiting for the show, I hold the glasses, I think about, in America and China, what they will do, like after we give them the glasses back. They probably reuse it, but the question is, like, do they clean the glasses very well? And, or like, can you trust them? Another thing is, if they just doing the like a one-time use, they just throw it away, it will waste a lot of resource. In Bulgaria, they give us a really good idea is about that, is you take your own glasses. You bought one, you take it with you always. So you won't worry about any healthy problem because you share the glasses with someone you don't know. And also, like I believe in this world, we only have a limited resource. So we need to try to reuse it or we try to use less. So in Bulgaria, that's a really good way, like you have your own one. You use every time. And so I have here an example. That's not one I get from Bulgaria. It's one I bought from China. Like, so every time now, like I go to watch the movie, I carry my own one. So I really like the country like Bulgaria because they have a lot of, like a small thing. It's not like a big thing that like we use the, like what they call it, renewable power, energy, but they're doing some small thing to help this world, protect the environment. But I really love this country. Yes, thank you.
We'll go through his slides. There's just a few. Okay. Next up, we have Mr. Wilfried.
Oh, there it is. All right. Hi, I'm Anthony Wolfrey. I'm a sophomore, and I'm an accounting major. This was my first time going on a trip out of the country. I've never flown in a plane before. I've never gone anywhere, so this was really big for me, and I had a lot of fun doing it. So this first picture here was from the day after we landed at the Rila Monastery, and you've already seen pictures that Ebony showed. But you know, we've all seen pictures of monasteries and heard about different religions that have been in history and whatever, but you don't actually understand the, I guess, the scale of a monastery or the effect that it has on people until you actually go to one. Because, I mean, I've heard, we hear monasteries and I'm just like, oh, okay, cool, religious place. But when you actually step foot in there, it's kind of humbling experience because you see the effort people go through to build it and to just keep it up and running for long periods of time. This is some pictures of our trip to Greece. I can't explain how beautiful Greece was. Just the island feel, it was so laid back while we were there. The only problem was that it was really expensive to go out and get food because in Bulgaria, you go out and get like a pound of food for like $2 US, but over there it's about $10 to get the same thing. So it was a big price difference, but just some of the views and the time we spent there, it was absolutely amazing. Our trip to Melnik, where we had the wine tasting, I've never had any sort of alcohol before, so that was another first-time experience. And I can't say I'm a fan of wine in general or alcohol. It's not something I ever really want to drink again. It seemed to me like it was tasting like peanut butter and rotten apples or grapes, but that's just me. This was another monastery we went to just near Melnik, and this one wasn't up in the mountain. I mean, it was in the mountains, but it felt like you were just kind of like at a plateau at the top. And I like the fact that they have the hanging gardens in there because it's just kind of just adding more nature to the feel of the monastery. This was our trip to Plovdiv. This picture right here is of a miniature scale of the Roman Colosseum, or not Colosseum, but yeah, I'll go with Colosseum for now. I don't remember the actual name. But it was underneath Plovdiv, and they didn't know it was there until they started digging to set up buildings, and they were digging in one's basement, and they just happened to come across part of the seating. And they dug out and excavated under some of the buildings. Unfortunately, we didn't get to go in and see them, but just a lot of the things, they just built on top of it and they didn't even realize it. And I thought that was incredible, that we have such amazing things that we're just missing. You just have to find them sometimes. This was also another picture of the Roman amphitheater where we had the opera. And I really wish I understood some Italian because they had beautiful singing, but I have no idea what they were talking about. This was probably my favorite part of the trip. We hiked up to the Rila Lakes, which is about an hour away from Blagoevgrad. And this was really special to me because, one, it was a beautiful countryside and beautiful mountains, but also it kind of reminded me of Northeast Georgia and the way the mountains, it looks kind of familiar, but at the same time, you know you're in a different country, and you know that no matter how familiar it is, you're outside of your comfort zone, you're in a completely different place, and it's just kind of awe-inspiring that it's just the beauty that we have, and sometimes we don't realize. It's another trip to the Shipkin Monument. This was right near the end of our trip, and I remember the first thought whenever we came up to this monument was that, why was there a Gryffindor lion on top of it? I'm kind of ashamed of that fact, but that's the first thing that came to my head. This is some of our time at Sofia. We went to, well, now I can't think. We went to a church, and this picture down here was actually the oldest church in Sofia. I think it was founded in 400 AD or BC, not sure which. But it was just beautiful that they still preserved it and kept their history alive, even to this day. And that's all I've got.
Next up, we have Mr. Wang Michel.
Hello everyone, I'm Xiao Wang from Shanxi, Xi'an. It's a mid part of China. Actually, I passed, before I went to the Bulgaria, I saw the Europe country is very similar to America. but after this trip, it against me. It's very different from America. One biggest thing is in American, people don't usually walk on the street, but in Bulgaria, it's more likely to China. People walk like 1 mile, 2 miles to the mall, to the school, library, something. But here we just drive car to everywhere. And just how Han said, we have arrived 3 days earlier than the group to Sofia. That's pictures I take in the Sofia on the first day I arrived. That one is a hotel we lived in the Sofia, and this picture is in the hotel room out of the window. Here is the church just outside the hotel, and the whole group went to the church at the end of the trip. And this one is Yellow Monastery, everybody told them. And this one actually the only place I can remember the name, because everybody knows. I will talk about this picture. That one is actually it's a way to walk inside the cave, and local people said there is history there is a doctor who can bring the health to other people lived inside, and this is a picture for the doctor. And they told that water, if you drink the water, it can bring the health. But I don't believe, so I didn't try. But other people tried it. And this too is one of the bar. It's very near to the school we lived in, and it's a view outside the bar. And actually, other guys win the bar usually. I just go sometimes, but the view is very good. This one is school, the student center. I think the school student center is much better than there. The GSW Student Center is. In Bulgaria, it's much better. This one I call the Costa, because I don't know the real name. This says many famous people have lived inside this big house, like a very big house. And I have found some interesting thing. If you look here, it actually is the back of the wall. It's something like this one. Behind this one, there is a way to go inside. I don't know what they want to hide on. They hide something inside. I didn't try, but I really want to know. If someone goes there, please ask the reason and email me. I will be very thankful. This is wine cellar. It's just under the big house. Here is the Bulgarian people. They made the red wine, and this kind of place. Actually, we have go 2, 3 places to taste the wine. That's an opera. I also have no idea what it's opera, even the Chinese opera. I don't understand what they are talking. So, but it looks interesting. This tower and the mountain we have walked on. I'm beginning right there. And the tower is top of the mountain. It's a really long way, mostly kill me. And this place used to be some military be there. And you can see the military stuff here. And my feeling about being on top of mountain is really, I can't explain why, but I feel really good when I walk on the top of mountain. And the light show, actually I have a video about the light show, but I don't want to show the video. I think video about light show is not interesting enough. I didn't take it good. But the light show, I think is you should go there and watch it by yourself. And also, the place just behind us, where I take the photo, there is a restaurant. If you guys go there earlier, you can eat your dinner and watch the light show. And food. I'm a people very like sushis. Does anyone like sushi? Sushi there, in the restaurant they call it Happy. I think it's really good. And compared to American China, the sushi is very cheap. About 20 pieces sushi is about less than $10. But if in America, I usually take 20 pieces, it's about $20. If in China, it's 50. So, and also in China, especially in my city, it's the middle part of China. It's far, far away from ocean, and it doesn't have a big lake, so the sushi is not good, but expensive. I don't know how they can do, and people still buy it. And that's it.
Next up, we have Brandon Bauschka.
What's up, everybody? I'm Brennan Bauschka. I'm a marketing major, and I went to Bulgaria this summer. Here's some maps of Bulgaria, I guess. That's the flag. But yeah, this is the first cool pic I took. This was in Volgograd. No, not Volgograd. This is in Plovdiv. Yeah, so we climbed this huge mountain, or not mountain, but hill, and yeah. Here's a good-looking selfie of me with that's the singing fountains. So they had like a violin, and then it would go with the flow of the fountains. It was actually really beautiful at night. And then there was like a bar back there, and we sat there and watched the fountain as well. This was the monastery. That was the first place we went in Bulgaria, and that was when I kind of realized how beautiful the country was. I mean, to still have this place from a long, long time ago, that was pretty cool. This is when Dr. Smedra, we were at the one of the oldest it was a Jewish synagogue, yeah. And we ran into this like really pleasant woman, and she fled Poland and moved to Bulgaria away from in World War II in the Holocaust, and she spoke French with Dr. Smedra. It was a really cool experience. She told us how she fled, and it was really cool. This was the opera that everybody also has put. Yeah, I mean it was kind of long, but we got through it. But Dr. Smedra loved it, so I'm glad he loved it. This is when we went hiking up the mountains to the lakes. This is Dr. Yordanoff. He was like my dad. Yeah, he took good care of me. But yeah, this was one of the coolest parts. I mean, that view is just phenomenal. You're not gonna get that anywhere else in the world, really. Yeah. And this was kind of the last view we took. Kind of a model. I mean, the flow is good. I mean, it's good. But this is when we hiked about 100, what was it, 200 steps, something like that, 500 steps. It was a long ways up there. And yeah, it was just beautiful. And that's it. Yeah.
Next we have Ms. Gao Shun.
Okay, hello everyone. I'm Xun Gao. I'm from China. I'm an exchange student from Hainan University, and my major is human resource management. This is my second year here. I went to Bulgaria with a group in June, and we had some trips. During these trips, I saw a lot of architectures. So today I'm going to talk about my favorite 5 architectures in Bulgaria. This is the first one, Rela Monastery. When I first saw this building in this picture, I thought it is so special because I had never seen this kind of buildings in China or in the United States. It is situated in the Southwestern Rela Mountains, and it was founded in the 10th century, named after its founder, the hermit Ivan of Rela. It is the largest and most famous Eastern Orthodox monastery in Bulgaria. And now it is regarded as one of Bulgaria's most important cultural, historical, and architectural monuments. And it is also a key tourist attraction for both Bulgaria and Southern Europe. And this is the second one, Church of Christ Pantocrator. It is in the eastern Bulgarian town of Nasibar on the Black Sea coast of Burgas province. I went there with Dr. Smedra when others went to Greece because I didn't have a Greece visa. And as a Chinese, I need a visa to enter Greece. So Dr. Smedra took me to Burgas instead. And this is a picture of that church, and it's so beautiful. It was constructed in the 13th to 14th century. It is best known for its lavish exterior decoration. The church, today an art gallery, survives largely intact and is among Bulgaria's best preserved churches of the Middle Ages. This is the third one, Plovdiv Roman Theatre. We went there for an opera. It is located in the city center of Plovdiv, Bulgaria. It was constructed during Roman Emperor Trajan. Unfortunately, a large part of the theater was destroyed at the end of the 14th century. The monument was restored using the original architectural elements to the greatest degree possible. It is currently in use and it can host between 5,000 and 7,000 spectators, and now it is one of the world's best preserved Asian theaters. This is the next one, Shipka Memorial Church. It rained heavily when we arrived there, but later the rain stopped. There were still many dark clouds in the sky. You can see them in this picture. This picture is my favorite one among all the pictures I took in Bulgaria. This church is a Bulgarian Orthodox church built near the town of Shipka in Staroplania between 1885 and 1902. It is dedicated to the Russian, Ukrainian, and Bulgarian soldiers that died for the liberation of Bulgaria in the Russo-Turkish War, 1877 to 78. And this is the last one. We went there for a light show and we visited in the daytime. When I first saw it, I thought it is like a castle. It is a medieval stronghold located on a hill in northern Bulgaria, and it is 206 meters above sea level. It served as the Second Bulgarian Empire's primary fortress and strongest bulwark from 1185 to 1393, housing the royal and the patriarchal palaces, and now it is a popular tourist attraction. Here is a picture of the light show. That's all. Thank you.
And finally, we have Ms. Shola Rizai.
Okay, my name is My name is Shola Rizai. I'm a junior. I went to Bulgaria this summer. This is the Rila Lakes, which everyone spoke about previously. This is probably my favorite place we went to because it was just, I don't even know if you can see in this picture, but basically you have to ride a ski lift up a mountain already a mile up. And then when you get there, you have to walk like another mile up, and you're so out of breath because you don't realize how high you are, and you're like dying. And I was like, wow, I'm so out of shape. Like, and I was like freaking out. I was like, why am I so tired? But it's because we were so high up. But it was so pretty, and it was like, what, 70 degrees? It was like 70 degrees, and there was still snow on the mountains. And so we like had a snowball fight up there, and it was just, I don't know, it was just so cool. And then those lakes are called the Rila Lakes. And there's 7 of them, and they're all around the mountain, which is why this place is called the Rila Lakes. And apparently, like, in winter, you can take, snowmobiles. Like, instead of taking the ski lift up the mountain, you can just, like, drive a snowmobile up there. But that was probably my favorite thing we did, just because of the view. There was also wild horses, so that was cool. But this is just a good picture. These are when we went. We took these kids, what was it, Mestra? Or Ratsa. It was this town in Ratsa, which is like 10 minutes from where Dr. Yordanov was born in Mestra. And these kids were gypsies are like very predominant in like the rural Bulgarian areas. And these are kids whose parents have left them, and so they go into the adoption like homes and stuff like that, the orphanages. And we took them out to it was like a fair in like a valley in a mountain. It was a fair in a valley in a mountain, and at first like it was super duper awkward because it was like everybody that was with like on our trip was like sitting on this side, and then like everybody like all the orphans were like sitting on this side, and it was like I don't know what to do, so I like went over. I went over there and I like sat with them, and I was like I didn't know what to say because like at this point I could speak like a little bit of Bulgarian, but I'm not like conversation fluent. So I was just like sitting there like, do you guys want any food? And then they asked me what my favorite soccer team was, like Barcelona or Real Madrid, and I answered correctly, I guess. So they started to like me. And then from there, it just blossomed. And they were super duper sweet. And I don't, like, they were so, I can even, they were so sweet. And it was just like so heartwarming almost to, but they convinced me to go up there and dance with them. So of course I did. And then we ate what it was lunch. We ate lunch with them and then went into it was like a cave with like a cave show, which was actually really cool because they used like the architecture or like the shape of the cave to use like to like project the lights off of it. So all the lights were like naturally reflecting off of like the cave that was already there, which I thought was super cool. But that was that. This was Melnick at the winery. I thoroughly enjoyed the wine. I don't know why everyone else didn't like it. But we had multiple refills and then bought more. But so we went to 2 different wineries. The second one tasted better, but the first one was like a cooler house, which is those pictures that you saw earlier with like the rooms that Shun said and stuff like that. But what was really cool about this to me was that this was in a cave, so all of the wine was like naturally chilled, and it had no preservatives at all because they had just made it or like make it, like I don't know when they make it, but they make it and they put it in those barrels, and then they just keep it chilled and then they serve it. So they were like, we were like, can we buy some to take home? And he was like, no, it's gonna go bad. So we couldn't buy any because it didn't have any preservatives in it, which is kind of a bummer, but they were still selling other ones. But this was really cool too. This was the Singing Fountains in Plovdiv, which is actually, fun fact, the European capital of culture. The European capital of culture for 2017, which is like a huge deal because it's like it's not a very big city and it's kind of unknown and a lot of people don't know about it, but it's where the opera was, it's where these singing fountains were, it's like super big in art and stuff like that. And behind the fountains was a bar, which was super cool because you can like look at the water and stuff over it, and that's where Mr. Shu ordered like, what was it, like a $40 shot of whiskey on accident. Yeah, he like was like, I want this one, and then his bill was like, what was it, like 80 leva? I don't remember, but so leva like is like, what is it, 100? 50 leva? So it was like only $25. Okay, that's not bad, but still, leva goes, ultimately like you have way more money in Bulgaria than you have in the US, which is good, but it's also bad because then you spend more money than you need to, but no, but like essentially like food would be like 10 leva, which like granted like it should be like you should be like, okay, that's like a little pricey, but that's only $5. So we got in trouble with that a lot because we were like, yeah. But anyways, this is another picture of Plovdiv. This was a little store that actually talked to the artist who like opened it, and he has like a website and stuff, which I thought was super cool because his like theme was like all we need is Plovdiv, like off of the Beatles, all you need is love. But there's just like a play on words, which I really like plays on words. So I liked it. This was the Roman opera that we went to, which I was fascinated by this because like you learn about like ancient Roman ruins and stuff like that, but you never think you'll actually get to see one unless you go to like Greece and stuff like that. But this was in Bulgaria, which is super cool to me, and I'm like obsessed with like Greek and Roman mythology and stuff. So like getting able to go to an opera in like a real life Roman amphitheater was like blew my mind because I was just like, we're actually in a Roman amphitheater right now. But granted, the opera itself, it was super good, but it was cool. But besides that, like look at it, how cool is that? And look at this house. Like, there's just a house on a cliff. I was like, okay. There's Ebony. Because it was funny, look, you're scared of heights. So she wouldn't like get too close to the edge. So she was like, take a picture of me right here. And I was like, Ebony, you can't see anything. She was like, no, it's fine. And I was like, okay. But this was overlooking Plovdiv. Wow. This was Shipka. I just thought it was super pretty. It was like a stop on our, 10-hour long drive to Paternovo. But this was right before we climbed up to the Gryffindor line. And we stopped here and it was like pouring rain, and then it just like stopped and it was just like shining, and like the whole church was just like shining. It was super cool. But anyways, I thought it was pretty. This was in Mesdra. We went to a party for Dr. Rudanov's sister, friend, client, I don't know. But there's Alex in the background looking super unhappy. But it was super cool because they had like traditional Bulgarian dancers like go up on stage and like do like real traditional stuff, and then that was pretty much it. Oh, favorite part. Okay. So these girls, when we took the bus originally, when we landed from Sofia, our bus driver was Dr. Jordanov's friend, and he's actually a soccer coach for this team called FC Sportica, which they went to the national championships in Bulgaria, and so they're like a pretty predominant girls team. And he was like, he found out like we play soccer, he was like, come play with us. So we went to like a couple other practices, and we met these girls and like became friends with them, and they like showed us around the town, which is probably one of the best experiences we had because we wouldn't have known what to do otherwise because we can't speak. And so this group of girls right here, like they became really good friends with us, and they like took us out and stuff. And now if you like go look at my Facebook page, you like all of my pictures, like because Facebook is like super prominent there. But they were super duper sweet, and they introduced us to more people and like more things, which I thought was a really big part of it, because if you like can make friends with the people there, then you're like immersing yourself, and that's like one way to see the country from their eyes versus like an outsider, instead of just like looking around and diving into places. This was my birthday. This was cool because we met these people in Plovdiv. This is why this picture. We met these people in Plovdiv, which was that town with the Roman amphitheater, and they were like, Dr. Smedra was like, if you see Americans, stop them, because we want to know like where they're from. So Ebony was like, Americans, and then they like turned around and they were like, what? And then no, I'm dead serious. Like that's what she did, and they were like kind of like swerved away, and we were like, where are you from? And they told us where they were from and stuff, and they were like, we're actually going to Blagoevgrad next, and we were like, that's where we stay. And I was like, it's my birthday next week, and then so they're like, yeah. Then we met up with them, and they were so cool. And now, like, I don't know, they all just came out with us for our birthday. That's basically it. But like, we're all friends on like all the social media pages and stuff, which is cool because like it's so random that they would be going to the same place that we were staying, and now we're like gonna know them forever and be like, yeah, this dude, these people we met like in Bulgaria, and now we're friends with them. But anyways, I thought that was cool. This is like the walk from, like, if down that way is the dorms, and like this way is what is he called? The Student Success Center. Yeah, Student Success Center. But so this is like campus, and like on this side is the river that Dr. Smedra was speaking about. Campus, they don't tell you this, but they give you breakfast every morning, which is like really clutch. And then also you can use your breakfast money to just like buy water, which is like what I did. I bought water and like croissants and stuff like that, and like just like snacks. Yeah, and so like every morning we would go down there, and like I would get like my water and my chocolate milk, but I had to sit in Dr. Jordanov's class for like 3 hours or whatever it was, but it was good. And then so that worked out really well, because if you didn't want to like eat the actual food that they serve, you could just buy what is it, like non-perishables, stuff like that. This was in Greece. We were driving around a cliff, and Dr. Jordanov was like, let's stop and take pictures. So we did. And then that's Brandon. He's not here. There's Daniel. Daniel. This is Greece also. This was really cool. This is where we stopped originally before we went to Giola. It was just like a secluded beach area, and there's like, they were selling stuff in the sand and stuff. It was just a pretty picture. There's Daniel again. But this was like, so it was like, you'll see in the picture. This was probably my favorite part of the whole trip. This was called Giola Lagoon, I want to say. There's a lagoon. And so what it was like, it's like basically like a bathtub, but of like ocean water. And like, it's not connected to the ocean, I don't think, but it's like ocean water, which was super cool because it's like people just swim in it and stuff, and then you can like also jump in the ocean if you're not feeling up for that. But the only bad part was that there were sea urchins on the bottom. So Dr. Jordanov, you can ask him about those because he was not a happy camper. But other than that, I really, really like this place. But Ebony, who was scared of heights, wouldn't go near it. And then Brennan, for separate reasons, wouldn't go near it. Yes, Daniel. But we actually jumped off this cliff. But Dr. Jordanov's nephew jumped off like first, like super dove in and got sea urchins like all over his hands and stuff. So like after that, we were kind of sketched out. Kind of like maybe we shouldn't, but we didn't. Okay, that might be there. Okay. Also, so I got a GoPro like right before I left, and I was like, I'm gonna make a super cool GoPro video, but I'm really bad at technology and videotaping, so like a lot of them are just like is the camera on, like pictures, but I think it turned out okay. So I'm gonna play that. Why is it not turning? That's why my PowerPoint was that it wasn't as aesthetic as some of the other ones.
Why is it not? There we go. There we go. Okay. And it's gonna show.
Wait, why is it plugged in? Don't do it yet. Let me press play. Let me press play.
Well, can I make sure it's up there first?
We got these like accidental pictures of you like.
I thought that you deleted those. Oh, that's so loud. I didn't mean to. I was trying not to get the phone to listen to what you say. Thank you for pointing out how I'm scared. I should have thought of what you did.
On the. How do you do this?
We click play.
Well, it has to be big.
Why don't you try opening up? Wait, click the zoom. Let's zoom in.
I don't know how to do this.
See.
It's gonna be. Oh, it's this button. I did it yesterday. It's this button.
Well.
That's the end of our formal presentation. Do you folks have any questions? Any of our presenters? Questions? Yes.
I just have a question. Is the food paid for, or do you guys pay for it there?
Is the food paid for? Breakfast is paid for. Everything else is on you. And we recommend that students bring about $300 to pay for a month's worth of food in Bulgaria. Other questions? Yeah.
Okay, so everyone talks about like fun stuff happening, so how
Classes are from Monday through Thursday. It's kind of like a summer school, a face-to-face summer school. So you'll take classes of 3 hours a day, either 9 to 12 or 1 to 4, 4 days a week. And then we travel every weekend over there. Other questions? We have flyers for 2017 program down here. We have applications for study abroad grants that are down here. And for my students, a sign-up sheet down here on this corner. Thank you very much for coming. Think about going on study abroad.